Hey guys, welcome to our very bookish channel. If you're new here, my name is Amanda. I run this channel with my friend Jen, and we just love to talk about books. We both really enjoy reading thrillers and mysteries, a little bit of horror. I like a little bit of fantasy. Jen likes a little bit of general fiction. So there's a whole array of book genres that we read. We've even read a couple of romance novels, some romantasy novels. So if you love bookish stuff and you haven't already subscribed, please click that subscribe button below so you don't miss any more of our videos. But today is really exciting for me because we are doing our December TBR. And I just love kind of preparing for the next month coming up, trying to figure out what books I'm in the mood for reading. And of course, Jen and I are going to do another mystery book this month. We love doing these little mystery books. So for the past 4 months or so now, we have done what's called a mystery book, where we pick a theme and we each select a book that fits in that theme, and we keep it a mystery. So we will talk about the theme, and I'll show you the book in like a book sleeve. You don't know what book it is, and then we will release a vlog, or we will talk about the book in our wrap-up video. To show you guys what book we chose. And we even keep it secret from each other. Like, I don't know Jen's mystery pick until I start editing the video that we talk about it. So it's really exciting. It's really fun. A little bit twist on the TBR. But first, today is Sunday, the Sunday after Black Friday. And I wanted to show you guys a little mini book haul that I got for Black Friday. So for Black Friday at Barnes & Noble, they had lots of signed editions of certain books. They had their usual buy one, get one half off, and a few like random selected books in hardcover. I think they picked, it might have been different for every store, was 50% off. So I did take advantage of the buy one, get one half off, but I did not get any signed editions of any hardcover books because there really just wasn't any book that at my Barnes & Noble that was signed that I really wanted. Like, I really liked the author and really wanted a signed copy. I heard that some stores had signed copies of Iron Flame. If I had found a signed copy of Iron Flame, I probably would have bought it, just because I love Rebecca Yarros and Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. We're doing a whole vlog on that, so that's coming out, but you guys will get my opinions and my first impressions of Iron Flame in that video. But anyways, so at Barnes, the first thing that I got is I found these special editions. They are paperback, and I have read the ACOTAR series, and ACOTAR series has been okay for me. I've enjoyed it, but I really didn't start really loving Sarah J. Maas or the ACOTAR series until I read A Court of Silver Flames. That book just made all the difference in the world to me as far as that series goes. And I know you've heard me talk about it before, so I'm not going to dwell on, but I am wanting to read the other series that Sarah J. Maas writes, and the next series I'm gonna read is actually gonna be Assassin's Blade. I have it up there, I can't reach it, but I'm gonna read that series. I'm gonna start with Assassin's Blade, read the novellas for the Throne of Glass series first, and then I'm going to read these books. And the Crescent City novels, I really just loved these covers. It was Barnes & Noble special edition. It's paperback. You guys know I love a paperback book. I'm not really a big fan of holding and carrying the heavy hardcovers. And these are some chunkers. Definitely some big books, but I can't wait to get the rest of the Sarah J. Maas series done and read. I know the third book in this series, it has like a gold cover. It's coming out next year, maybe January or February. I'm not really certain, but I know there's going to be several different editions of that coming out. It is going to be hardcover, so I probably won't buy a hardcover copy. I'll probably wait until I release this version of the paperback book so that I'll have a whole set that matches. But I just love these books. These are stunning. So the next two books that I bought are fantasy books. I've had this book on my TBR on Goodreads for a little while. I've been wanting to read it. My Goodreads TBR is like 300 and something books long. So if I find a book that I find remotely interesting that I might want to read, I just put that on my TBR in Goodreads. So I collect a lot of books quickly and try to go through them as I go. But I've heard really good things about this book. The second book in the series just came out, I think beginning of November. So I wanted to get them. Jen and I have also been talking about possibly doing a video or a vlog on these books. So I went ahead and got one because one of them was part of the buy one get one half off sale, and that is One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gielig. And I just am really interested in this book. I don't know a lot about it, except it sounds like a book that I'm just gonna love. I know that there's some mysterious illness going around this kingdom, and this girl has it, and it kind of unlocks some powers in her that she has to use to save the kingdom. Also, I think it also says that the people that possess this kind of illness, they try to track down and contain or eliminate so it doesn't spread or something like that. So she has kept it hidden for a long time. So I just thought that this was very interesting. I've heard really good reviews of this book. I haven't really heard much about this book, but it was just released, so not surprised there's not too much out there about this book that I've heard yet, but I just can't. I'm excited to get to these, and I hope that Jen does decide she wants to do a vlog on these, because I think it might be fun to read these two books. And then the last book that I bought at Barnes, as you saw, Two Twisted Crowns was buy one get one half off, so I had to pick another book from the buy one get one half off sale, and I picked The Locked Door by Frida McFadden. This is one of the books, if you watched our last Frida McFadden vlog, this is one of the books that I want to read next from her that I think sounds really good. So when I saw this one, I decided to pick it up and get it as part of that deal, since I was already buying Two Twisted Crowns. I'm sure Jen and I are going to do another vlog on Frida, because we just love her books. They're so fun. They're really quick reads, and they're really gripping, and like kind of once you start them, you can't put them down, because you just want to keep knowing what's gonna happen with these books, and you just cannot predict the twist. These books are so twisty turny. They're so good. So I went ahead and bought this in anticipation of doing another vlog for Frida McFadden. We're probably gonna wait until she releases The Teacher. I think that's coming out early next year, like maybe March or April, I think. So we will see, but we'll probably do another vlog for Frida at that time, and probably, hopefully, we'll read this book. And one more book I found at Walmart for Black Friday special, and it is a book I've had my eye on for a while. It is a debut adult novel for this author, and she writes like romantasy, and she has written young adult romantasy books. And this is her new adult novel, and that is Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Miscalco. And this book I found at Walmart for $14. It's hardcover. I don't think it's any sort of special edition or anything, but I really do want to read this book, since it's an adult romantasy book, and I've heard really good things about this author. I am gonna read the Wicked Kingdom trilogy first, because it takes place in the same world as this book. I've been told you don't have to read the trilogy first, but I just want to. Okay, they're young adult books. They're not too long. I don't think it'll take me a lot of time to get through them. I want to get familiar with that world and get set up for what might be going on in this novel before I read this one. So I am going to try to read the trilogy first before I read this, but it was only $14, so I thought that was a good deal, a good Black Friday deal for Walmart. And it is really pretty. You know, the inside has this really pretty map, kind of a cool green color, and the kind of soft pastel purple, and the flowers and like this gold key is like shiny and foily. So I just thought it was pretty and I want to read it. Got a good deal.
Hello, welcome to our December TBR. I can't believe it's already December. And though we haven't been doing this the whole entire year, I believe we at least started talking about it beginning of the year, but I don't think we posted until, I want to say, April. But I feel like the time has just gone so fast, like crazy fast. And we already have over 100 videos that we posted, which is just crazy to think about. And I definitely have read a lot more this year, I think, because I have been focused in doing these videos with Amanda. And I think my last couple years, I only got to like 20 some books read. It's just hard to find time to devote to reading. There's just so much to always do, and I work so many hours. So this year, my last month for this calendar year, I am going to try my best to hit 50, which has been a record. I don't even know if I've ever had a year that I've read 50 books in one year. I don't know if it's going to happen. I am planning a TBR to hit that goal, so I need to read 6 more books to hit that goal. So I have 6 on my list. As we all know, it doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to read what I have on my TBR, though I think I've been pretty good this year, not too crazy outside of that. One that could change is Rebecca Ross's sequel to Divine Rivals, which comes out December 26th. I have a feeling I might just pick it up that day and read it that night, because I'm really, really anticipating Ruthless Vows, which is the follow-up. So that could very well be part of what I'm reading. I don't think I'm going to read over this. There's no way. I mean, I already for this week am just really behind. I've worked way too much. Things that I thought I was going to get done this week, I have not got done. I wanted to decorate the house. I wanted to put the tree up, which is typically something we do after Thanksgiving. That has not occurred. I haven't had a day off since Thanksgiving, and I still work tomorrow. I still work to Saturday of this week. So yeah, that's not a great sign for getting what I want done. But the point is to enjoy and have fun with what you're reading. So even if I don't hit that number 50, as nice as it will feel to hit a nice even 50 for the year, if I only get 2 more, it's still the most I've read in a very, very long time. So let's get into it. The first one I plan on reading, though Amanda and I don't think we'd have a date for this, but every month we attempt, because it didn't happen in November, we attempt to do a wrapped or hidden book that we reveal during a video, and we have themed it. Last month was the month I'm in, November, it was supposed to be a book on our TBR shelf that we have wanted to read. Now I am currently reading that, but she has like far surpassed me with what she's reading. I think she read it like 6 books ago at this point. It took me a really long time to get through Iron Flame, and that I'm going to save that discussion for the Iron Flame video that we are finalizing. But I am currently reading that TBR read at the moment since I finished Iron Flame, but we are not doing a video for that one. We are just headed on into December and not looking back. So the first one I want to start, and I use the nice little Alice in Wonderland bag that she got me to hide the book instead of wrapping it. So my hidden read for December is in this bag. And our theme this month is a Christmas read. Now that can be interpreted obviously many ways. So yeah, that's all I'll say about it, is that I've wanted to read this. It's definitely taking place during Christmas. It's new, and I've been holding off a little bit because we've had other things to do. So I've had this for like a couple months, but I really want to read this, so I'm thinking it's going to kick off December, and we should be able to get the video done if that goes that way, if I start it off that way. So that is my first book.
So now on to what you guys are here for, my December TBR. First I'm going to go through some of the arcs that I want to read. I have been terrible about reading arcs because I've been reading books for vlogs. And of course, Iron Flame came out, so that took up so much of my time and my headspace. That book lives rent-free in my head. That's no joke. We have a vlog coming on that, so I'm not going to talk about it. You'll just have to watch our vlog, but that book was a ride. So I've been really bad about reading my arcs, and I don't like that. I love getting the arcs. I love being able to read them early and review them for you guys. So I've got a couple arcs on my list this month. The first arc I want to read is The Curse of Penrith Hall by Jess Armstrong. This book does come out December 5th, so I don't think I'm going to be able to read it and get my arc review up before the release date, but I'm going to try really hard to get it out as soon as possible. So in this book, you're following an American heiress. Her name is Ruby, and she kind of had some sort of past traumatic experience with this home called Penrith Hall, and circumstances come up years later where she has to return to Penrith Hall to deliver, I think it's a book, to what used to be one of her good friends, and you don't really have any details on what happened between them or what went on at this place. So she goes to deliver this book to someone who used to be her friend. They're not really friends anymore, they're distant, but they used to be besties. And while she's there, kind of catching up with her friend's husband ends up dead. So she's kind of stuck in this place trying to figure out what happened to him, and the mystery that surrounds this Penrith Hall and why the husband died and what's going on. I'm sure we'll uncover things that happened about her past and between her relationship with her friend. So I'm really curious to read this book, and it was one on my most anticipated for December. I'm gonna get to this as soon as I can and put the arc review up as fast as possible and let you guys know what I thought about this book.
The next one, I'm not going to go in order of when I plan on reading these, because God knows. I mean, that read that I just talked about very well can take me 3 weeks depending on how my December goes. So we'll see. It's not a long book. It's just time. Time is an issue when you have so much on your plate. So the next one is an arc that was gifted to me, and it looks really interesting. The cover is yet to be revealed, but it's called The Book of Doors. It comes out in January by Gareth Brown. I have not read anything by Gareth Brown, but the description of this sounded really interesting to me. I didn't read Midnight Library, but they compare it to the Midnight Library, and it sounded like a magical tale about a woman who works in a bookstore, and a customer that always comes in ends up passing away in his favorite chair in this bookstore, and he had gifted her a book before he had passed away, and then he was found with a book. And part of the note, or part of the book that she reads, is saying that she has to find certain doors to find secrets that are going to open up a whole new world for her. So it almost sounds like Narnia, kind of, but I thought it sounded really interesting. I was thinking this would be a great book to read in December. Maybe it'll end up being January. Who knows how my December is going to go, but it definitely sounded interesting. So that I have on my list for December.
The next arc I was really excited to get. It is the second book of a series, and that is What Feast at Night by T. Kingfisher. I did read What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher, which is a retelling of the fall of the House of Usher. And that book was so different than any book that I have ever read. I don't want to say that I loved it or that I didn't really enjoy reading What Moves the Dead, but it was just so different, and the writing is so good. T. Kingfisher is a great author, and I got this arc. I was very happy to get this arc. And I can't wait to read it. I don't even know what this is about. You're still following Alex Easton, who is the soldier from the book What Moves the Dead. He's returning, it says, in a horrifying new adventure. So after their terrifying ordeal at Usher Manor, Alex Easton feels as if they just survived another war. All they crave is rest, routine, and sunshine, but instead, as a favor to Angus and Miss Potter, they find themselves heading to their family hunting lodge in the cold, damp forest of the home country, Galakia. So this probably picks up where the last book left off, and I'm excited to read it. It's a really short, it's only 147 pages, so it shouldn't really be too hard for me to get through this book very quickly and get an ARC review up for this book as well.
Another one I mentioned, I think during Goodreads videos that we did, I don't think I had this in the most anticipated. This has been getting picked for a lot of end of year lists, that it's one of the best books of the year. I do like reading fiction, so this was definitely something that caught my eye, and about how much everyone's been saying it's a great book. It takes place in 1972. It's called The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. It's by James McBride. I haven't read anything by James McBride. I've heard a lot of good things about him. And it's about a Pennsylvania town. I think it's called Pottstown. In 1972, they were digging up like a construction site, and they find a skeleton. And there is an investigation into it, but it's also in an area with both Jewish and African American, like a neighborhood, and there's a lot of racism, and because of the tension between everyone, and you find out the secrets that may have happened in order for this, I think, murder is what is going to end up happening. They realized it was a murder, and I want to say, unfortunately, I think the skeleton is of like a young boy or girl. So I feel like this is going to be one of those books, like I had read Anthony Doerr's Cloud Cuckoo Land, where the writing is going to pull me in, and I'm really going to end up enjoying the writing. This story felt like it was going to be part mystery, but also it's going to be a story about voices don't typically get heard. And I feel like it's very important to make sure that those stories are also something that I put into my TBR and reading things that I don't typically read. So I am looking forward to this one. I'm hoping to get to it in December, but it also is very possible it's going to get pushed to January.
The next ARC I got, I was so excited to get. I think I got it from Shelf Awareness, but I honestly can't remember exactly where I got this from. But if you guys like grimdark fantasy, you have probably read the book Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. I have read the first chapter or prologue. I don't know what I think it's the prologue of Empire of the Vampire. It was a book that I borrowed from the library, and I just read the first bit of the book to see if it was something that I would like, and I loved it. I loved the prologue of this book. It was so interesting to read. The setting is great. The writing is amazing. So I went out and bought the paperback version of this book. So this is the first book of a series by Jay Kristoff, and I am definitely going to read this because, and I just want to show you guys too, like this cover is pretty cool. Like I like it a lot, but the inside has all these pictures. Let's see if you can see them. So I find one. All these illustrations. So the book has all these illustrations kind of throughout the chapters, and that is so fun. I just love it. Very stunning book. So, and very floppy. So, I can't wait to get my hands on that. And the ARC that I got is book 2 of this series. Empire of the Damned. And I cannot wait to get to this book. The ARC does not have illustrations. No, it does. the ARC copy, this is not, I've seen the final cover of the book. This is not what the final cover of the book is going to look like. This is just the advanced readers edition. But there are also illustrations on the inside of this too. And I cannot wait. I just loved, like I said, the first chapter, prologue, whatever in this book was amazing. I can't wait to finish the story. So I'm getting to these books as soon as I can, and we'll be posting an ARC review of Empire of the Damned as soon as possible. This book comes out in March. So this book will be released in March of next year.
The other two I had on my most anticipated fall list. One is The Other Mothers by Catherine Faulkner. I had definitely talked about this in the most anticipated. I think it comes out, this is an ARC, but it comes out in December, I'm pretty sure. And it's about a mother who is around a very like ritzy, New York neighborhood, upper West Side, and she doesn't feel like she fits in, but she's very much watching and wants to fit in and wants to be friends with these mothers, and she ends up befriending them. But then there's a lot of secrets and things that come out, and I believe a murder is one of them. And then she starts to realize she thought she was seeking them out to be friends with them, and she then starts to realize they may have targeted her. And that part, I don't know what that means or what's going to happen, but I feel like it's one of those typical psychological thrillers I tend to get sucked into, so I'm looking forward to doing this one.
The next book on my December TBR is going to be Jade Legacy. For October, I read Jade City. Loved that book, 5 stars. In November, I read Jade War, which is the second book of the Green Bone Saga series, and it's right here. So I read Jade War this month, and I did not enjoy Jade War as much as Jade City, unfortunately. And I feel like that is unpopular opinion, because when I looked at Goodreads, the Goodreads rating has gone up. So Jade City was like 4.10 or something, and Jade War was around 4.2, and then Jade Legacy was maybe like 4.25. I can't remember the exact numbers in Goodreads, but it seemed like with every book the Goodreads rating went up. But for me personally, I didn't enjoy Jade War as much as Jade City. So I'm very interested in finishing this trilogy, finding out what happens, how this gets all summarized up, and what I'm gonna think of Jade Legacy. This is a pretty big book. It's pretty thick. So I've got some real thick books this month, but this book is once you kind of get used to the author's writing, these books are just so easy to read, and the visions that you get in your head, like the writing just illustrates so perfectly this world and the magic and the characters, and I just love it. It's good. Such a good trilogy so far. Again, not real happy with the second book, but I can't wait to finish this book in December.
Another fiction one. I have 2 fiction on my list for December, so hopefully I get to both of them. This is another ARC, and I think it's out by now because I've had this for a while. It came out, I think, just recently. But Michael Cunningham Day, it takes place over one day over the years 2019, 2020, and 2021. And it's a picture of a family and what happens to them. It shows pre-pandemic, during pandemic, after pandemic. But when I had read about this, he said it isn't a pandemic novel, but more about how the family is reacting to each other through something that was really trying, and everything that they go through as a family. So it's another fiction book that I love to read fiction. I don't read it as much as I used to because of a lot of thrillers, and I've been getting into some other genres, but I've been wanting more and more to read more fiction because I've gotten away from it. And I'm looking forward to doing this one too.
And finally, my last book on the TBR is going to be our mystery book. And this month, of course, Jen and I wanted to pick a Christmas or holiday themed mystery book. I'm not really a seasonal reader. I just read books whenever I feel like it. I'm more of a mood reader, I guess you could say, but I just don't have to read Christmas books at Christmas time or summer romances at summertime or, you know, Halloween books around Halloween. That's just not how it works for me. But I do enjoy getting into the Christmas spirit and, you know, getting in that Christmas mindset of reading a Christmas book in December. So I'm very excited that we decided to do a Christmas themed book. And I will say this book I've seen a lot of Christmas romances. This book is not a Christmas romance. I would say it's more sort of along the lines of The Family Game by Catherine Steadman. But I read The Family Game last year, enjoyed that book. I've seen a lot of people saying that they want to read that book this December, so highly recommended. I hope everyone goes out and reads that book. It was really fun, kind of like a Knives Out story. So this book is more along the lines of a Christmas thriller. It's not a holiday romance because I'm just not really into the romance books as much. So I thought this would be really fun to do another holiday thriller. And that's really all that I can tell you guys. It is by a fairly popular author, and I don't know if you have any guesses of what you think it might be. Go ahead, put it in the comments. But I will be revealing what book this is, either in a reading vlog where we film us reading our mystery books and unveiling them, or in our December wrap up. We will unveil the books and tell you guys what we thought. So stick around, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you like this video. We are growing at a pretty good pace. We have over 100 subscribers now. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed and watched our videos, and we are really excited with hitting that 100 subscriber milestone, which I know in the YouTube world isn't much, but it means a lot to me and Jen that we put our effort and heart and time into these videos, and it just is nice to know that people are watching them and liking them and subscribing to our channel. So thank you guys so much.
Last but not least, this one looked really interesting, and I have to read the back of this because I feel like that's what caught my interest. So it's called Anna O by Matthew Blake. I believe it's a first-time writer and novelist. But what if your nightmares weren't really nightmares at all? Joining the ranks of Gillian Flynn, AJ Finn, and Alex Michaelides. Obviously, all three of those I've read and loved. Matthew Blake delivers the thriller of the year, a dark, twisty, and shocking mystery about a young woman who commits a double murder while sleepwalking and then never opens her eyes again. And I felt like this one sounded really interesting. Those authors are ones that have sucked me into psychological thrillers. So just the description on the back made me really want to read this. And the other thing it made me think of, there is a movie that I feel was kind of similar. I'm not sure it's completely the same. There was a movie called Side Effects where a woman was really depressed. She got diagnosed and had medication prescribed to her, and under that medication she ended up killing her husband, but she did it in like this, almost like a sleepwalking. So that's why it made me think of it. But I'm just very curious to see what this book brings. I have a feeling of the books on my list, other than the mystery book, this one I'll probably definitely get to because I feel like I'm most anticipating this one. I just feel like it's really interesting. I always get sucked into the psychological thrillers. As much as I always end up really wanting to read fiction, I feel like these are just like a drug for me. It's just what I like to read and what makes me feel good. So, you know, why not do it? So those are the ones that I am reading. It's like a heavy load. This hopefully will be my December reading, and then I will hit 50, but stay tuned. stay tuned and see if that shall occur. So we have, I think, at least the mystery one planned for this month. I know we're going to do a follow-up Goodreads winners just to talk about who won. I don't know if we have anything else planned at the minute, but if all the holidays end up making us very busy and we aren't back until January, I hope everyone has a safe and happy holiday, and until next time.